Hey everyone, I'm back with another knife video. Okay, so this is a Hinderer knife. So this is the first new pocket knife I've bought actually in about 3 years. The last new pocket knife I bought, I think, was the Chavez Redencion 229. I made a video on that as well. So yeah, kind of exciting. Anyways, this is just a real casual kind of initial thoughts and impressions video about this knife. It's not an initial unboxing. I will be upfront about that. I've already had this knife for about a week now and been using it a little bit here and there for about a week. So let's get right to it. And if you like this kind of material, I'd appreciate the like and subscribe. So let's open it up. Like I said, I've already been in the box. This is a Gen 6 Hinderer Bowie, or clip point. And it is the tri-way pivot system, of course, because it's Gen 6. And this knife is also in Magnacut. So this is my first knife that I have owned in Magnacut. So I'm going to find out, I guess, what all the hype is about this steel. This is the Bowie blade working finish. You can get the light on it just right. You can kind of see it's that bead blasted matte with a tumbled finish to it. So it looks a little bit worn right out of the box. And then as you use it, tiny little nicks and scratches do tend to show up on it a little bit more than it would on a stone wash, but it kind of goes with the whole look of the working finish. The tie side, lock bar side, again, working finish on the tie, working finish. Again, there's that beautiful Bowie blade. I really like Hinderer's Bowie blade. It's got really good ergonomics. Out of all my knives, the Hinderer probably is the most comfortable. You know, it might not be the handle to some people might not be that appealing, but it feels good in hand. Got the nice jimping up here, got the forward choil. And the Bowie has this nice just thumb, like spot for my thumb. And I just find it very ergonomic. Now, some folks don't like the flipper. I get it. You know, it's not everybody's thing. I can say that as of this video, DLT Trading does have a fairly good amount of these Hinderer knives, XM-18 3.5 clip point Bowie blade, without the flipper. So if you're trying to find one without a flipper, that's a good place to look. GP Knives has some as well. Most of them I think that I saw had flipper on it, but I think I saw one or two without a flipper as of this video. So you kind of just have to check the usual knife spots: Blade Headquarters, Knife Center, GP Knives, DLT Trading. I also look at Southern Edges every now and then, and Smoky Mountain Knife Works, just to name a few in no particular order. Some quick size comparisons, maybe? All right, so this is the Sebenza 21. So if we're going original knife trinity, that would be Hinderer, Sebenza, and Strider. There's my large Sebenza 21. I have not felt the need to get a 31. So this one is an S35 VN. And yeah. Okay, Strider. So a better comparison would be the SNG, but I don't have an SNG. So I think the last video I made was about a couple of these SMFs. This is my newer SMF in that stonewash finish. And because the Strider has a more generous forward choil, the Hinderer, the actual cutting edge is about the same for a Hinderer XM-18 3.5 as a Strider SMF. Now, if you want to compare the two big knives from Hinderer and Strider, the larger size knives, I guess that would be the SMF and the Hinderer XM-24 or the SNG XL. So I don't have an XM-24 or an SNG XL. What else? Let's do the Paramilitary 2. Okay, Spyderco. And then another clip point Bowie from my collection. This is a Benchmade Crooked River. It's the full size, not the mini. So obviously the Crooked River's a longer knife overall and longer blade and definitely more cutting edge. Let's do the last knife review I did was a Chavez Redención 229. Okay, so it's a little bit shorter in length. Cutting edge, it's pretty close. Okay, but definitely blockier and heavier than the Hinderer. And last but not least, it's the first Hinderer I ever bought. This is I think it's a Gen 4. I bought it around 2016, and this is before the tri-way pivot. This is a fatty, meaning that the blade stock is their thick blade stock. It's the same thickness as an XM24, and this is the Spanto grind. And as you can see, I've I've thinned the blade out, which is why it's got a really tall bevel on it. Cuts pretty well, slices better now. But yeah, so that's my original Hinderer. So what else about this? So with the tri-way pivot, right? So the tri-way pivot, if you're not familiar, that's what that symbol is down there. If you're not familiar with the tri-way pivot, basically that means that you have 3 options for what you can use in this blade pivot. The knife comes to you with the ball bearings. So I've got the tri-way options out here already. So this is what actually came in the knife. So Hinderer uses steel ball bearings. There are ceramic ones available out there. So if you want to try ceramic, you can get some ceramic ones and replace the steel ones with ceramic. The other options you have are going to be Teflon. Okay, so this is a Teflon washer, very thin. Okay. Or, of course, the classic, let's see if I can pick it up here, classic phosphor bronze. Okay, also very thin. Now, if you were to switch out to the phosphor bronze or the Teflon in the Hinderer knife here, you would need the included, and they include this. This is basically a steel spacer so that you can basically stack the washer of your choice, Teflon or phosphor bronze, onto that spacer because the ball bearing pivot's a little bit thicker. So if I have all 3 of those out to show you, then what the heck is in my knife? So in my knife, I actually went ahead and bought these. I prefer phosphor bronze, and these are from Skiff. These are thick washers. So basically they're thick phosphor bronze washers, so I don't need to use a spacer. When you order these from Skiff, they give you 4 of them. So I got 2 in my knife, obviously, and then I got 2 extra. So these, in comparison to what comes with the knife itself, there's the Skiff, and there's what comes with the Hinderer tri-way. Okay. So I just wanted to get the Skiff because because less moving parts, less parts to me is better. So in that way, I don't have to use the spacer. What you use in your knife, if you get one of these, is whatever you prefer. You know, if you like a really snappy deployment, very rapid, fast deployment, that's going to be your ball bearings. If you want the convenience of Teflon, because Teflon doesn't necessarily need a lubricant all the time, then go with the Teflon. Or if you're like me and you just like the classic phosphor bronze, I would recommend getting the Skiff's thick washer. That's a 1/4 by 1/16 is the size that fits the Hinderers. That way you don't have to use a spacer. Phosphor bronze, the advantage, if it, at all, you know, I guess it feels more rigid. It's just got a different feeling. I can't really describe it on a video. You just kind of have to feel it for yourself. The deployment is not going to be as snappy as a ball bearing, but it just feels smooth, and the knife feels more rigid. And I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know. Maybe I'll switch to ball bearings again at some point. But I really like the phosphor bronze. The phosphor bronze does take a little bit to break in, so like I said, I've had this knife for about a week, and I switched to the phosphor bronze. My skiffs were in a day or two after I got the knife, so I put them in there pretty quickly, and I've had some time flipping it open and closed to kind of dial it in and really break it in there. So yeah, right there you can see it's just not as fast as ball bearings, especially if you don't apply a whole lot of pressure. Ball bearings, I mean, just a little bit of pressure on that flipper and the thing flies out. With phosphor bronze or Teflon even, you know, it's just not quite the same snappiness, but the smoothness is what I really like about it. Also, if you're working in real dirty environments, you know, ball bearings may get a little more dirt in there more easily than, say, phosphor bronze. So I don't know. It's whatever you like and your preferences for your pocket knives. So anything else about this? Another thing I like about Hinderers is that they're very customizable. You can find a lot of accessories or swap out different parts online to whatever you like. Just a standard build here is, you know, G10 titanium liner, titanium slab on the lock side for the frame lock. All this hardware is stainless steel. If you want to switch this hardware to titanium, you can find different colors of titanium, anything from, you know, stonewash to purple or blue or bronze. You can switch out from G10, different colors of G10. You can get micarta. If you want to switch this side out altogether and just do another titanium slab on this side, you can do that too. So yeah, I do like the customizability of Hinderer knives. One little nitpick I have, if there's anything I would have to nitpick on, it's that you need a few different tools to basically take this completely apart and break it down. So you need a flathead for the pivot, or I actually just use a penny. You need a spanner tool back here, okay, similar to a strider, spanner tool, and a flathead here, or a penny. On these screws here, now you can use either a 5/64 Allen wrench, which happens to coincidentally be the same size as what's needed on a Sebenza, or you can actually also use a T8 Torx. Either one will work, okay? But also, if you want to take the pocket clip off when you're disassembling the knife, or if you just want to switch the pocket clip from tip up to tip down carry, you actually need a small Phillips head. So yeah, that would be my only nitpick, is that, you know, I need like 3 different tools to be able to take this knife apart and maintain it, or switch out the washers on the pivot if I wanted to do that. But other than that, I mean, so far it's a great knife. This is definitely thinner behind the edge than my fatty Spanto. Not quite as thin as the hollow grind on the Chris Reeve Sebenza, but I have not had to, out of the box, this knife came very sharp. So far I haven't had to touch it up or sharpen it. So we'll see how long it takes before I have to do a first touch up on it, or stropping or anything like that. All right, so I guess that's about it. Really like this thing, and like I said, look around to some of the knife sites if you're in the market for one of these. They are currently available on a few knife sites, as I noted, and I'm sure he'll come out with other batches with Hinderer knives. They seem to come out in batches with certain blade grinds and finishes. I think the latest drop of the Bowies, some of them seem to be in that battle black. So if you like that battle black blade, say that 5 times fast, battle black blade. Anyways, if you like that battle black, check it out. I think there's some sites that have the battle black with the flipper. So all right, take care guys, and I'll talk to you later.